The following is a special presentation of the PDF Sports Network.
What's going on? What it do? You know the vibes, way too early with Pat. Got a full slate of stuff. Let me make sure everything's working. I spelled spring wrong. What on? What it do? Ooh. Yeah, I definitely spelled spring wrong. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Copy link. There we go. What's up, Tomcheski? How we doing? So we got to the point where preseason promises became, hey, it's time to actually put up or shut up. Some people put up. Some people may want to shut up today. So we will get into all of that. We lock in all the other pages. Other groups, Players Lounge. What up? Good morning. Group. Players, copy. People trying to send me plays of the week. Let's see if your play of the week is the same as my play of the week. I definitely want to take a look, though. Give me a second. Legendary Dynasty, LDFL, Big East. Hope everybody had an awesome day yesterday. I went to the circus over at, it's amazing how much time you have when you aren't doing semipro football. Went to the circus yesterday at Cross County Mall in Yonkers. I don't even know what the hell it's called. But whatever it was absolutely fantastic. Midwest folks. What up, Midwest folks? What up, group? Got it. All that. Yep, that was only two. Gotcha. All right. So, group. One last one. Do. All right, so we had kickoff yesterday. We actually had games on the schedule. So all of the drama and nonsense of everything else is now gone and out of here. And now we are focused on actual football. So first thing is, somebody sent me what they thought was a play of the week. I did not check to verify to see if it's the play of the week, but this is what they think the play of the week is. Let's roll footage on this. Let's see what we got here. This game yesterday. Oh, yeah. I showed this yesterday on the Bleezy post game. That definitely was a hell of a catch. So absolutely, we'll put that in. Of course, the three Bleezys, the big show is what I call it, is back. Is back next week. Well, this week. So that was a hell of a catch. Absolutely hell of a catch. Shamar, thank you for that. Yeah, that's legit the play of the week. I definitely agree with you there. Great job on that. So let's get a rundown on what happened yesterday. So without further ado, I know I posted the scores, and I'm not doing the whole super technology thing. Let's just go to the scoreboard on the board. Please, we can review. NEAFL, we had the Tide shutting out the Vikings 22-0. We had the Unit with the win over the Owls. Pretty interesting one on that one. I don't think anybody really knew. They knew that the Unit were going to benefit and be pretty formidable coming back. I'm not sure how many people had them outright beating the Owls in week one, but they pulled it off. Raptors, after an off season of a lot of announcements and a lot of advertisements and such, well, you know what? They got the win, 10-6 over the Panthers. In the rematch of the championship, I believe the Militia and the Bullies. The Bullies coming off their Nationals run. Militia make a statement in week 1, not only bullying the Bullies, but shutting them out 14-0. The Eagles took care of business 21-0. And in the ECFL, which we're going to talk about that because there was some real raggedy stuff going on there. The Ducks beat the Chargers. Well, you could say the Ducks, but there was 8 different uniforms on the field. And the Ducks really had a 37U type of showing. And the Chargers, who, again, maybe I'm a little biased because those are my guys over there. And Bailey, too, ladies. Chargers play by the rules, getting uniform, and a team that comes in and doesn't follow uniform rules ends up putting all these guys on the field. I want your opinion on it. Maybe I'm overreacting. You could say, Pat, you're overreacting, you're bugging. But if you're going to sit there and put a whole bunch of players on the field to beat a team 41-7, like, why do those guys need to be on the field to begin with? Just, put whatever you can in one uniform on the field and play a tighter game because the rules say so. But nonetheless, what's credibility when you're talking about, ECFL spring? Let me also remind people, I had Vicky on here a couple weeks ago. She said this was not going to be a problem. Reached out to her, waiting for comment back. So come on now. So in the next game, Bulldogs beat the Bruins 27-12, and then the Cardinals in an overtime game. It was like 3 overtime games, beat the Warhawks. Now, some people said that it was 19-13. Now, I do believe with college rules overtime, after the second overtime, all of the possessions are 2-point conversions. So I believe that's how it ended up being 15-13. So that was that one. And that's the rundown of the scoreboard for the week. A little bit more to do with it. Let's talk about it. But first, I want to take a look at some of the plays of the week. Okay, I really need to get my technology game up, but whatever, this is going to have to do. So, and I will post these in the Bleezy page for you guys to check out. This is the Chargers and the Ducks game, and again, different color helmets, just a whole bunch of nonsense going on here. However, just like the Gravediggers game in the EFA last year, maybe the Ducks are, real legit, and, once they get their uniforms together, will come out to be a pretty good team. But quarterback sticking the pocket, good pocket, by the way. Look at we got some action going on here. Pretty good pocket right here, and then the quarterback is going to just make the play. Video gets a little choppy at the end, just like their uniforms, but hey, it is what it is. I like that little flip at the end. Bing. And that was one of the many scores that the Ducks had yesterday. So that was my play of the game for this one. Again, don't see why you need to put that many guys on the field if you're not going to, whatever. This is Bruins versus Bulldogs. Oh, yeah. So the uniform on this one, although both teams are in uniform, orange and red might not be the best of ideas. Quarterback back to pass, and now you have a whole bunch of the same looking type of color. Gets behind the, I'll back up a little bit on this one so you could see. Yeah, it looks like the secondary got confused as to who was who. And orange kind of slips right there. I do like that orange, though. That I don't think that's Longhorn orange, but pretty close to. And again, 27-12 was the final in that one. Here's the overtime winner, the red-on-red game. And that was not me on the camera work on that one. I'll even back the camera up on this one. This was Fassetti, the commissioner for the ECFL, who got his attention taken off of the game winner, and the Warhawks with the 2-point conversion to win in overtime. So this one right here from the Eagles game, bomb right up the middle. I think that was Daquan Brown. Woo, that was a nice one right there. Very smooth. Love it. I'm a little biased in this one because I'm an Eagles fan. So Jersey Eagles, big shout out to those guys. Let's see that again. Broke that protection. Like they had a blitz on that one, but was able to throw past it. Well done. Let's go one more time because, yeah, that's a good throw. That's a hell of a throw by the quarterback. Yeah, linebackers come. He steps up, throws. Even if you got to get smacked real quick. Oh, here's the Panthers game. Panthers. This is the Raptors game. Ooh. This was, well, I'm going to show you what it was ruled. It was ruled not a catch. This was a tough one. And this was a one-score game, so this actually could have sent the Raptors to 0-1, but they got help from 1 equals 2 feet. So now, to the ref's credit, he is in position. He is looking where he's supposed to look, so his mechanics are good. And to tell you the truth, of course, we're looking at it frame by frame. He can't look at it frame by frame. He has to look at it in real time and full tilt behind a pylon. So he missed it. Got it. But you got to make that play. This is my play of the game from it. This is, by the way, great camera work. I'm not sure who did the camera work on this one. I love these type of shots when it comes to football. That's a great video right there. Amazing video. I'm going to run this back one more time, too. See, this is why I keep on telling dudes, TYJ. And again, I'm not sure what TYJ was doing. Oh, I think I know what TYJ was doing yesterday because I'm saying, and I'm going to call people out, if TYJ does not have a full docket of work each weekend, and I don't know what y'all are doing because that's TYJ type footage. Again, I don't know. And Raptors, please tell me so I can give credit to whoever that was that ended up with that video. But you have your field camera for all your promo stuff. And then you have your up top camera for your all 22 for the coaches or what have you. So don't get so carried away. I mean, this is the coach talking, but don't get so carried away with the coaching aspect of it that you don't get the media end for it for your marketing stuff. However, if you're wearing 8 different jerseys and you have guys wearing sweatpants and doing all the other nonsense, then maybe, just maybe, maybe you don't want to get it on a camera, to tell you the truth. So that was that. Let's go back to this. Cool. So that was the games yesterday. And I'm going to go to the comments real quick, see who's chiming in. Cool. So that was... Ooh, okay. Spring starts the 22nd. Good morning, Pat. Hey, what up? Morning, Bleezy. Hey, what up? And the Vikings scored. Thought the Bruins were good. Gotcha. 6-20 was the Vikings versus Tide score. Gotcha. So where am I getting these scores from? I'm getting these scores from the NEAFL website. So I'm not saying that you can't count or that you don't know what you're talking about. You might have physically been there. However, the official score is the score that is placed on the website, and that's what I'm going by. And by the way, the scores are important because it definitely goes towards, when you go to national rankings and things like that, or even the local rankings, and pride in itself, being able to do the spreads based off of scores as well, is something that is very important. So, call Saplinski or call in the ECFL, whoever you have to call in order to get it right. And, there you go. So that is that. So I am looking at the comments. Beautiful. All right. So what else do we got going on? So we got week 2. Actually, first, before I go to week 2, let me just give you my thoughts on week 1. So I'm going to bring back the scoreboard real quick. So Vikings and Tide. Is this more of a reflection on the Vikings or more that the Tide is doing better? Well, I think the Tide had a pretty productive offseason. The Vikings usually are stronger in the beginning part of the season than they are later part of the season. So there is some cause for concern when it comes to the Vikings. The Unit Owls game, I'm going to be honest, Coach Lester, you're a legend. You are that dude. However, when you are talking about rumble juices and posting and commenting everywhere about rumble juice not being allowed at your field in pregame, not to say that you should have allowed rumble juice at your field, not going to say that whatsoever, but you could have messaged Skip Jenkins and handled that privately. But when you're on the pages and then you go out and your team loses a game, that's a bad optic. Just a bad optic, especially the morning of the game. That's the conversation that's going on. It's a bad optic, 100%. So, again, the benefit of me being red-tired is that I don't have to put a team on the field in order to back it up. Well, pause anymore. But moving on, Raptors, Panthers. The Panthers, I know, are upset about that call, and yeah, you have a reason to be upset about that call. I get it 100%. However, had plenty of opportunities to win the game before that play, and on top of it, your offense managed 6 points. So what are we really expecting when you score 6 points? Are you really expecting to win? That's a tough one. So you got to put up more points, especially against a Raptors team that is brand new. Okay, so I'm not completely sold. I know the Raptors do have a pedigree going back to Arena, but Arena, and especially professional Arena as far as that goes, is a totally different ball game than 11-man outdoor football where you have to field a whole entire 50-man roster. Just not there yet. The biggest statement, and again, if you saw the Bleezy wrap-up yesterday, Kadeem and Ramsey definitely got this wrong a couple of times when they were trying to talk about what the game of the week was, or whose stock rose the most. Whose stock rose the most? It had to be the Militia, because in terms of quality opponent, the Militia were playing the Bullies. The Bullies, fresh off of a natty year last year, one of the favorites to be in the championship or win the championship again this year, and they blanked them 14-0. And there was like talk of a tap out. I don't think the game ended early per se, but apparently, according to the Militia, the Bullies did not want no parts of what they were delivering yesterday. So that's the Militia is the team to look out for. So Eagles obviously are going to be there. I do like the way that the Eagles are developing. They did come on the scene last year with a lot of gusto. So Zay, and I'm definitely going to get out to a game, Zay, and support those guys. The Knights not as, I mean, you got to be who's on your schedule, but the Knights are not a win that you're going to write home about. You kind of just check that off the box and move to week 2. The Knights are still developing, and we hope those guys, are able to move forward and get better. What I do see out of NEAFL, though, out of last week's games, is that they were all, there was no blowouts. There was no 40 points. Nobody's hanging 50 on anybody. So even with games that when you predict where they're going to end up on the standings at the end of the year, nothing really got out of hand. So it's got some competitive football. So as I predicted before the season started, especially with the elimination of certain culture-related items, that you're going to end up getting back to the bottom line, which is football. And without a second league and without guys really doing double duty, I know double duty is like the magic word or what have you, but let's be honest, like nobody's spoken about double duty because there's really not any reason to do double duty unless you're going ECFL and Big East. But I guess we'll see how many guys are doing double duty between ECFL and Big East. Anything between NEAFL and ECFL or even NEAFL and Big East is, you're not really going to do much. So hopefully these teams break the trend lately of the way that the team looks in week 1 is drastically different than the way that the team looks in week 8. Both for the better and for the worse, by the way. So ECFL again, stock went down. And with everything going on in terms of the problems of teams leaving the summer ECFL, this did not help your cause. So a lot of people have speculated that the ECFL summer is pretty much in crisis and could be done and folding. It was 20. Marcus, I'm just telling you what's on the website. So I do believe you, but I'm just telling you what was on the website. So a lot of people thinking that the ECFL summer is absolutely in crisis. Will they be able to pull it off and get everything back together and play? Possibly, who knows? However, if your resume now is tied to this ECFL spring, which for the last 2 years has been a raggedy looking product, from the uniforms, from the startup teams that fold out, to the fights and things like that. It's really just not been a quality product. If this is what your name is attached to going into trying to re-recruit for summer, because you're down to, I think, from the summer, they went from like 20-something teams to now they're down to like 7 teams or maybe 8. I don't know. So you're going to have to put a better showing out there than this. And, the Ducks and the Chargers, again, the Ducks had 8 different white versions of white jerseys out there, different color helmets. So out of everything, you could at least get the helmets right. Actually, let me not even say that, because every year we do the same thing and we do like the excuse thing. No. Uniforms are something that you have to get every year. I don't know why teams are trying to get brand new sets of uniforms every year, especially if you have multiple uniforms. Just use one set that you had from the previous year, as a team set, and then order whatever it is that you think is going to come in on time or not on time, and then roll the dice with that. But you should always have at least one set of jerseys. And the fact that you're trying to go full uniform, you might be, if you're cutting corners like that and you are really acting not your wage, like if you're not acting your wage, then just get a jersey and have everybody on your team get white pants, or get your team black pants or black tights to put over whatever pants that they have. There's so many different ways to at least be in uniform with uniform pants. It's raggedy. And then when you're looking raggedy and then you beat a team 41-7, it makes the league look like a clown show. And the national rankings, and to be honest with you, the national rankings are going to see that, and they're going to, whoever comes out of there as the top dog is not going to get the respect that they deserve because of the antics of the field. So this week, I think there's the Raiders and the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons always in uniform, so you don't even have to worry about that. They're coming up to bat this week, so hopefully they have taken note, and this is what you're doing is crazy. Bulldogs and Bruins. Bulldogs have a solid squad, very solid squad. The Bruins offense is in need of some work. Don't know how they're going to get some continuity on offense, but again, when your offense puts up 6 points, your defense put up the other 6 points, and they try to get into low scoring affairs with teams to try to get their defense to win the game. You're going to have to. You're going to have to do something. The Bruins are not the same. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm not sure if the Bruins are not the same for the better or for the worst. But altogether, you have to stop. You have to stop the other team. I'm stating the obvious. If you know your offense struggles, you can't give up 27 points, and that's a lot of pressure to put on defenses. But the Bruins, even last year, were in very low-scoring matchups that couldn't get a victory because they couldn't put up enough points, even in very low-scoring games. But if you were saying right now, if you're at the start in any game on the ECFL schedule, if the Bruins give up 27 points, are they going to win the game? If the Bruins give up 20 points, are they going to win the game? Like, what would be your prediction on that? You would say, okay, the things are looking bad. In a high-scoring game, it's going to look bad. There are teams that could withstand that. For example, the unit, the way that the unit played yesterday, like the little consistency on offense. The Tide had the Vikings, so that doesn't really count. I'm trying to think of another team that would be comparable that could get into a high-scoring shootout with teams that. Let me get back to that. No worries. And then the last game, the marquee game, was Cardinals versus Warhawks. And this is crazy because this was the one that everybody was, it was top billing. And you've got two teams wearing red and mismatched helmets. Oh, so Cologne is a very good player for the Bulldogs. Gotcha. Interesting. Gotcha. So you got the marquee matchup, two of the top teams in the league, the ones that have been battling out, that have been quality football teams for a while now, and they both come out in red jerseys. It's silly. It's absolutely silly. And it's in this day and age, with everybody doing uniforms and uniforms being available everywhere, there's no reason for it. And continuously, and I'll say it this way, the sign of weak ownership is the inability for your players to at least paint their helmets. That's the tell right there, because teams really aren't painting helmets. There's very few teams. Please correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, because there may be some programs that do it. I know, like, certain elite programs take the players' helmets and paint them for them, and it's part of the league fee or whatever. But that's a rarity. Most times, players are responsible for painting their own helmets. So it is an absolute disrespect to your organization if they can't even find the time to paint a helmet during the course of the preseason. How many times have you guys been practicing and they knew that they were playing on that team, you knew what color helmet you were wearing, and they just were like, yeah, F it, I'm not painting my helmet. What's a uniform anyway? The uniform is everything. And that is my 2 cents from last week. Anybody, did I miss anything? I'm looking at the comments right now. Cool. So now we're moving on to next week. So let's check out the schedule for next week. Next week, we have all 3 leagues going. Let's see the Bleezy Sportsbook. I don't have the NEAFL spreads just yet. I'm going to my expert for that, so we shall see. This Big East opens up. As you saw from last week, there was a modification to the schedule based on the Mount Vernon Kings dropping out. You have the Crusaders and Bengals. You have the Golden Lions versus the Lions, Wolfpack and the Hurricanes, Green Wave and Dolphins, Black Panthers with a crossover game with those Bruins. So Black Panthers, was their offense going to be like? If they could put up points, then this is going to be their game to lose. However, I don't know them as having an explosive offense, so this could be a tight one. That's why the spread's at 2.5. In the NEAFL for week 2, you see Militia play the Unit. That's going to be the game of the week based on week 1 results. You have the Raptors and the Owls. That should be a good one. Bullies and the Wolfpack. So we'll see what the Wolfpack, whether their off-season program, as they make their debut for 2025, see if their off-season program has been working and made them the better. Maybe follow the trend of the tide with those Delaware teams, making strides. Eagles take on the Panthers at the Panthers. We'll see if the Panthers can rebound after a heartbreaking loss in week 1. And then the Tide go for 2 in a row against the Knights. So look at the Tide. Go ahead. ECFL week 2 spreads have started on this one. You have the Cardinals and the Falcons. This one was a tough one to really gauge, because are you judging the Falcons based on the last time we saw them? In that case, the Cardinals having a sloppy week 1, this should be, the Falcons, looking pretty impressive. However, this is a different Falcons team, especially with the Golden Lions in the same region as them. Not seeing the same type of production from the Falcons, but when you have a solid organization, when you have great coaching and great ownership like the Falcons do, then it's you're going to be there. So the edge goes to the Falcons on this one in terms of the spread, because it is at the Falcons. So Cardinals on the road, we really haven't seen that. We haven't seen the Cardinals get out of Massachusetts and really make noise. So the Falcons open up as a 3.5-point favorite on this one. So the Connecticut Raiders make their debut. Again, team that has, not overly impressive, but the Ducks, except for their uniforms, had a very impressive opener, and we shall see with them being home whether they can take care of the Raiders or not as a 6.5-point spread. It's going to be an interesting one, and I think that's going to provide us with more answers and more clarity on the league as a whole after this one. So, I'm sorry, Bug, you're kind of loud. Jeez. Sorry. Chargers, who had a very rough week 1, they don't get any relief in week 2. They take on the Warhawks coming off of a huge win. I guess the only one in this one could be one, well, actually, even worse yet, let me start there, is that it's at the Warhawks, and that's not good for the Chargers. The only sign of relief, I should say, could be maybe the Warhawks overlooking them and not taking the game quite as serious. But that's going to be tough sledding for the Chargers. Very tough sledding. And that is that. So, Thursday, Yes, Thursday, the Bleezys will be back. So you'll see the unacceptable. Warhawks had all white lids, all red jerseys, and white pants. Gotcha. So the Warhawks were in a uniform, just a uniform that didn't make sense when it came to the opponent. Duly noted. Good. But the Warhawks had like green camo jerseys and all types of stuff. So how is that? Like, I don't understand that. You getting me field access for next week? I don't have field access. I'm not nearly as colorblind awareness bowl. Oh my God, the colorblind awareness bowl is crazy. What else we got? Hey, what up? So let me check to see if anybody wants to get on and give their review of week 1. The views were absolutely unacceptable. So we shall see. Yep, that's just my 2 pennies. Let's see. What's up, Bleezy? How you?
I'm in the bed, man. I'm in the bed, bad Bleez.
Nice. We're just looking for your review of week 1 for the folks, and of course, because the big show, of course, you guys are the big show, is back this week, correct?
Big show. That's the fact. But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. You know, we at the mansion, Patt, Bleez. We're gonna see. We're gonna get drunk.
What time do you guys start on Thursday so people can tune in?
You know, we used to start at like 8, between 8 and 9. So now we're gonna try to be on time. Now we're gonna get there like 7. We're gonna start at 8.
Make sure you turn in at 10:30 p.m. for the 3 Bleezy big show.
But them jerseys, man, what is up? What is up? There's got to be rules, Pat. Can you help them enforce the rules? They should not be able to touch the field with other jerseys.
There are rules. It's just about enforcement. So again, and I think you hit it on the head perfectly, is that there are some team owners, there are some league owners that talk about other people's products. And then the biggest issue, and it's funny because this came up with Slip a bunch of times last year, is as a league owner, if you're talking shit about other leagues, but you're depending on the performance of the team owners in your league, like, that's a tough go. Like, if I talk about my product, well, I can guarantee my product. I have control over it.
You better guarantee yours and stand up.
Yeah, but you're now guaranteeing other people's stuff, which is never a good idea, ever.
Yeah, I think if that can be handled, then everything else is just football, and we can deal with all that bullshit. But if like the things we can control are controlled, that'd be nice.
But here's the thing: this has been the same thing every year. We talk about this. Every year we talk.
I don't get it.
And they don't get better. So to tell you the truth, again, maybe we have to go back to Kansas City and talk to the bosses and say, hey, look, you know, maybe some people and some things are just not good for the game, and eliminate it.
It's like the teacher who's telling everybody not to talk in class, but I'm still doing what the fuck I want in class. Like, nigga, you gonna do something about this or not? Like, everybody got on the same color jersey is crazy. All red, week 1, nobody's playing. I don't care what this shit looks like. No game, nothing. They're gonna be mad, and they never gonna do it again.
But
they're never gonna do it again.
You know what could be the fix for this? Funny enough, the media. The media actually could be the fix for this, because ultimately, as soon as these teams do what they do, they're gonna try to look at themselves in the standings, in the regional standings, in the national standings, or what have you. Because all of this is being exposed by the media, like yourself, when the people do the rankings, they're gonna see.
They're gonna
no, we don't. No, we don't want that associated with what we're doing. It's raggedy. So like, I feel bad for whoever comes out of the ECFL because how serious can you take an ECFL champion if the season looks like this?
Well, I don't think it's gonna stay like this, and I'm hoping not. Hoping that because we're talking about it and other people are, it gets kind of enforced as the season goes along. But it can't be week one, and both teams in red is wild. That just only means it's only gonna get worse. Y'all don't have a white jersey. One team have a black. Like what the fuck? Both teams only had red jerseys. Is crazy.
I think the helmets are worse. Not painting your helmet to me is slapping the team in the face.
That's just as bad. The whole uniform is bad. If it's not all 100% together, then it's not helmet, jersey, and pants. Everything else you can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah, but to me, a player not painting their helmet is like they have an exit point strategy. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't be allowed to play. How you over here with another team's helmet on? You can't play unless you wear a team helmet. I don't care if you got to put on your teammate's helmet. You can't play with that helmet on. Pat, you think if I was coaching, which I would never coach because I can't, I would go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You think a nigga be allowed to wear a jersey from X team to be on my team? You think a nigga be wearing X helmet on? I probably wouldn't even let them practice in that shit.
Right. We used to tell people, yo, flip that jersey inside out. Like, and that started with the Bandits. Like, no, you ain't coming into my practice wearing this other team's jersey and such. No,
yeah, so I think that's probably just the worst part right now. But, football is only going to get better with the football. The football was good this week. I've been seeing highlights starting to get posted, so I'm getting into it with that.
Yeah.
But them jerseys, man, them jerseys got to get fixed. The rest
yeah. Big shout out to the NEAFL because the NEAFL did their thing. You
seen the videos?
I did. The NEAFL absolutely did their thing, and I know if the biggest issue that you run into in week one, mind you, in week one, is a referee making a bad call. God bless you. You did your job. So big shout out to John Saplinski. Again, this time last year there was, all types of craziness, no numbers, all types of craziness.
Oh my God! Remember the no number game?
The no number game.
What team was that? Because they ended up being a decent team.
I think was that the Bengals? The South Jersey Bengals.
Yeah, it was the Bengals. Yes, because we had the White Tiger.
The White Tiger.
No numbers, week one.
Yes, indeed.
Yo, shout out to the White Tiger, man.
Indeed.
He came and he left real fast.
Indeed. So it just and you said it yesterday. So I want to lead you there so you could say it so I don't have to repeat it when you were talking about the leadership and then the teams that have been doing the right thing before league owners, and then the same ones will be doing right.
Without those owners, some of these teams have been amazing beforehand, or struggling beforehand, or figuring it out beforehand. So these leagues don't necessarily dictate those teams, but it would be nice if we could have a league that's almost so dominant and doing things properly that it's pushing teams in the right direction as well. That would be very dope.
Absolutely. So who do you think had their stock go up the most? Which team do you think their stock went up the most this week? Ooh, I lost the Bleezy. Okay. Let me try to get him back. Oh, there he is.
I don't know.
So I was asking, which team do you think had their stock rise the most this week?
Rise the most? Not the Raptors, because they're new. Gotta look at some scores, but that unit game, man, the unit just put themselves, they're already a high team. We already think highly of them. But I think that just put them on the top of the league, and we just kind of clearly are going to think of them as the favorites. That's just what I believe for the consensus and for myself. So I think that their stock, it's risen and it's kind of clear. So I think that they're clear one.
Right. Here's the funny thing. I think overall, the Bulldogs in the ECFL, their stock went up for me. Besides being in one of the few teams in the ECFL that were in proper uniform. Take a look. Take a look at their game. Their offense has some weaponry to it. But in the
That's the Bulldogs.
NFL,
They played who? They're like the teal team, teal and white.
no, they have like that Longhorn burnt orange look. They're the ones that beat the Bruins this week.
But isn't that like a teal and orange? It's like a blue
I don't think it's,
orange or some shit.
I don't know. But it was a
I
team
think we're
that
talking
beat.
about the same team. I think they got some fire ass unis.
Yeah, it's the team that beat the Bruins.
Yeah,
this week.
everybody's gonna beat the Bruins this year. Don't do that. Don't talk about them like that.
No,
Everybody's gonna beat the Bruins this year. You can't use the team that beat the Bruins.
No. No.
I'm playing that. Let me not
Do you think the Bruins? I think the Bruins will beat the Chargers.
The Chargers is trash.
The Chargers are in for a struggle, especially after getting beat like that in week 1, and now they have to go to the Warhawks week 2. Vicky, what's going on? Vicky, are you coming on? Because Hunch was defending you yesterday. I was just saying.
Don't talk no slander about Vicky. It's not the Bleezy show, but on the Bleezy show, there will be no Vicky slander.
So, Vicky, if you want to come on and either explain what happened, but Hunch, I was just saying, hey, look, I'm just quoting what she said. I'm not saying anything about her personally or anything like that. I'm just asking what happened.
Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Hey.
Hi, guys. I'm driving. Sorry.
No problem. What happened yesterday?
Well, things were a little rough.
A little?
A little rough. A lot of uniforms didn't come in on time. A lot of helmets weren't painted on time. So you should see a change next week.
But we've heard this before, Vicky.
I know, but Massetti's doing a great job, and he's, making sure everything's going according to plan. And there were a couple, last-minute bombs dropped about uniforms and helmets. So, yeah.
Pat, I'm gonna say this. I done been on teams for a long time, and I done seen owners and coaches not say nothing about timing of jerseys. So we know a lot of guys do their ordering and waiting for guys. Some owners don't even got the money, so they really waiting for the money to come in. I'm just keeping it a band. You know that. Some of them don't even got the bread to front what they're doing. So they actually are waiting for the money. Now they fucking up the process. No one knows that they waiting for the money. When it's week 1, oh, you finally got the money. Now you getting the jerseys. Niggas don't know. You got to be stand up as an owner and as a player, and the communication got to be clear everywhere around. And I think owners have to say you cannot play if you're not uniformed. Period. I don't care if your mother. I'm just being real. I don't care if you got issues at home. I don't care if family members are passing. Your team cannot field without uniforms.
Vicky, but okay, so let's talk about the Ducks and Chargers game, right?
Yes, sir.
So how many players did the Ducks put on the field?
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Okay,
I can't say.
Got it. So now you see how the optics of this looks when you're sitting there with a team that's breaking rules. You're following the rules if you're the Chargers. And the team that's breaking the rules is kicking your face in 41-7.
Yeah.
So it does damage to the team. So what's the benefit of following the rules? Why? My question would be, why were all those Ducks allowed to play to the point where obviously they didn't need all of the ones that they needed, and it wouldn't look nearly as bad as it looked if they just had, let's say, whatever your minimum player is. I would just say, hey, Ducks, do you have 15 players with the same uniform? Okay, then those 15 players, those are the team. That's your team for today. Everybody else, go in the stands, and then play football with those 15.
I can't really just point out the Ducks either, because there were a couple of other teams too that had, I've seen a Raptors uniform out there. I've seen a Admirals uniform out there. Week 1, it did look a little. I'm not even going to say a little. It did look bad. It did look bad with the mismatched uniforms and color uniforms, but at the end of the day, what can you really do when uniforms didn't come in? What do you do?
Well,
do you basically say, okay, we're going to start a week late because uniforms didn't come in? Do you get fines? Do you get, You get forfeits?
You get
No,
forfeit.
You get
forfeit.
forfeits because it's
Week
not
one,
the
though?
it's
Week
not
one?
the uniforms that didn't come in. It's the owner that didn't order the uniforms in time. That's what it was.
Is it the owner that didn't order the uniforms in time, or are they the players that paid late?
Nah,
Oh,
I think the
no.
owner's got to be able to front the money.
Yeah, that's
You got to
what
be
being
able to get your product in motion.
yeah
So
that
let's face it.
you need startup money.
You do need startup money, but in this era of semi-pro, and Pat, you've been around a long time. You know, I've been around a long time. Who has the money nowadays? Who has the money?
Then you can't do it. You got to act your wage. And by the way, at least paint your helmet. Like the whole not painting a helmet and you can just go to freaking Home Depot, get some spray paint and get it done. It's just so disrespectful. And by the way, Vicky, the NEAFL was in uniform. The Big
They
East,
were. I've seen.
right?
I've seen.
The Big East last year, week 1, were in uniform. So
Correct.
Listen,
Listen, I'm not making excuses. Yes, it looks bad. Yes, where there'll be some changes next week. I know you've heard that before, but all I can say is, you know, Pacetti is really doing a great job to, you know, make things stick and make these changes that need to be made.
Vicky, before I get out of here, because I'm on your side, Vicky, I understand it's not all you.
I love you, Steve. You know I love you,
Yeah,
so
you know,
let's go.
And I know you can't do everything, but I will say, being in the spot you're in, where you can't order the jerseys for these owners. You can't do their job, but you can put them on ice. And there's nothing like putting a motherfucker on ice. That motherfucker will return and do what's right, or he won't return. So if you get a forfeit week one, you got a forfeit that you think the league is going to still allow you to play. No, they're not. Forfeit, bow. That means next week your shit going to be here. Or next year, you'll never not be prepared week 1. We've never got to deal with it no more.
Yeah, just get a house set of jerseys.
They got to take L's.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah. By the way, big shout out to Sean Spencer, because Sean Spencer has a house set of jerseys. Although they're absolutely hideous, that's the purpose of it. You know, if nothing else, you're gonna be in a uniform, even if it's not. And these guys trying to do these custom pants and these custom jerseys, just get a jersey. Like, if money is that so tough. And by the way, we're talking about teams that sit there and have been around for a while. So like the Warhawks, the Cardinals should know better. The Warhawks should know better. Come on. And then on top of it, like, you have 5 uniforms but can't get one together.
Right.
You're advertising all these fire combos, and you can't get one on the field. That's
right. No, I get you. It definitely was a rough week 1. I'm not making excuses. And hoping that, you know, next week is better. Like I said, Pacetti is, you know, gonna hold 180 to try and get things the way that they need to get done. So I'm going to be positive and say that everything will be better week 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward.
And you know what? I appreciate you standing up and getting in front of the microphone and explaining, and I appreciate you for that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've been in this game for a long time. This is not the first time I've been on ice with Pat, so.
On ice with Pat. That's another segment.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you, Vicky. Safe travels wherever it is that you're going.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice Sunday.
So, Vicky, be safe.
You too. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. And Pat, I definitely agree with you, though, Pat. This has got to be enforced. And it's just, they got to find a way, man. Yeah. And guys got to be able to fund. Yeah.
And these aren't startup teams. These are seasoned veteran teams. Like the whole, the blaming the uniform vendor is no more.
Do you think sometimes it's petty shit and maybe teams aren't bringing their second jerseys because they wanted a specific team to wear white or wear light or dark?
No, I don't.
Do you think that happens too?
No, I don't think it's that type of gamesmanship. There was somebody in the comments that just said it. It's a red flag of dudes that don't want to spend money. Miles Joshua said it. He said, week 1, no unions means that owners are broke. Don't take on tasks. It's too much for you to handle. There you go. Not everybody's built to own a football team. And when I say own the team, it means owning the bills. So,
yeah.
And You can't sit there and talk about being a boss or being an owner and not pay your bills. I've been pretty consistent on that with everybody. You got to pay your bills, and that's
Well, Pat, man, thank you for having me, Pat.
yes,
I'm gonna get
sir.
out of here. I'm gonna stay tuned in though. You know the vibes, mundo, yeah. See you Thursday, please.
And make sure you watch Three Bleezy Show on Thursday in or around midnight. Well, Thursday night. So technically, probably like Friday morning by the time they get on. Make sure you tune into the big show for that. Also, before I head out, because I got about 3 minutes left, Brooklyn Bengals have a bowling event, and they do absolutely awesome work. Big shout out to those guys. If you get a chance, please make sure you go to the Bleezy page, check out. In fact, let me just not even talk about it. Let me just be about it real quick. They have a bowling, it's like $30, right? Bing, bing, bing. Here we go. It's a bowling fundraiser. If you cannot go, and I'm actually busy that day, so I cannot go, right there, boom, boom, boom. There's your Cash App right there. Donate some, even if it's like $5, you got an extra bit of money in your, or you know what? Let some kid in Brooklyn bowl for you and on your behalf or whatever, and they'll probably bowl better than you anyway. For $30, send them $30 and let a kid bowl in your place or something. Make sure you take a look. It's yeah, March 5th. Oh, it was yesterday. Just kidding. Oh, I'm sitting here. Well, I donated. Anyway, so the bowling. I totally forgot it was yesterday, and I was busy yesterday at the circus. So see how that came full circle. So Brooklyn Bengals, great job. And it's not too late. So go to that Cash App and donate something, even though you can't bowl. I'm wondering if we got some highlights from that, who the top bowler was, and standing invitation, because I know is it Damon Grace? No, it wasn't Damon Grace. I forgot who it was. That's a really good bowler that they're always talking about how great a bowler they are. That was last night. It went well. Nice. See, I'll extend. You know what? Still donate money, even though it was last night. Who was the top bowler? What was the top score? I'm wondering. Because a lot of people on here lie about their bowling scores, including myself. So great job to the Brooklyn Bengals for their bowling event. Great job. It did well. Another thing from a Big East team from yesterday was the red and white game that the Crusaders put on every single year. There was a very nice clip. I believe it was TYJ, because I know TYJ is like the official videographer of the Crusaders, as he should be. Crusaders have a lot of things. I'm going to put it up right now. They had Media Day. TYJ was at Media Day, did an awesome job with the video work. Oh, awesome stuff. 215. 215 was, I definitely was not going to be able to touch that. So yes, I would have donated my money anyway. So yes, Crusaders had their red and white game yesterday. Talk about top-notch program, top-notch organization. There was a young man that had a awesome defensive play. It was a defensive end that had a pick six. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's crazy. We're just talking about being in uniform. How is it that, yeah, definitely TYJ material. Hold on, here we go. If it's TYJ, I'm definitely... Woo! And again, for better quality, go to the Bleezy page, you'll see it. So they had an inter-squad scrimmage, and they were in uniform. Go figure. So if you're going to talk about programs and teams, and this and that, whatever, that type of stuff matters. So don't think that just because your guys play good football that's kind of the end-all, be-all of it, especially if you're doing trash things like wearing 8 different jerseys and such. So yes, the Crusaders were in uniform. The Crusaders had their helmets painted, and they were in an inter-squad. They were in an inter-squad game. So okay, Brooklyn Bengals will be playing the New England Black Panthers week 1 and not the Crusaders. Okay, so I will double check on that with Mason and correct the corrections that need to be corrected. Boom, and that's it. Oh, well, I might have to get a really quick invite. Let's see if this guy is available, because I do have to go at exactly 10 o'clock. Boom. So, yeah, big round of applause to the Crusaders being in uniform for a scrimmage, and other teams couldn't get themselves together for an actual game that counted. And big shout out to the Bengals for their bowling event fundraiser. Make sure, again, you can still donate. Go back to the tag and hand it. So I sent a request to John Saplinski to say good morning. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So he has 3 minutes. How you doing, sir?
Who you got?
Hey, what up?
Oh, what's going on? I lost you.
There you go. How's everything going?
It's good, buddy. It's good. Good week 1, Success.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to get into it really quickly. We only have 2 minutes because the wife is giving me the look already. Now, the referee call on the touchdown in the Raptors game.
Yeah, it's tough. I seen a picture and I did see the video, and they summonsed me, because that's what these players do. But real quick, I mean, it looked like a touchdown. I haven't been home yet, so I will look into it more thoroughly, just to look at it, and I'm sure the refs want to see it, a close-up of it. But like someone said, his knee hit and his elbow hit out of bounds. I don't know the ruling on that. I think the NFL, you have to drag both feet, if I'm not mistaken.
One knee equals 2 feet. So I do know that the rules are a tad bit different when dealing with the end zone, because you have to survive the ground, and there's a whole bunch of things. But kind of the bottom line is, since we don't have replay, since the game is going fast or what have you, look, the only thing that I can ask of a referee is to be in position physically to make the call. And he was in perfect position to make the call.
He was looking right at the camera lens. He was on the sideline looking right down it. So he was there squatting down looking, and he was there, but in real time, the eye only sees what it wants to see. You know what I mean? We're all good. I've did refereeing a few times voluntarily, and I sucked. I wanted to throw the flag, but I was in slow motion, man. Guys were yelling at me, and I'm a commissioner. They're like, "Get off the field, you suck!" And I did. Yeah. But I got a taste of it. It's not easy. Not easy.
It definitely is not. So let's talk about the positive real quick in the last minute. Awesome games, close games, no real blowouts and such.
Everything was within a few points all the way to the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
It was great.
So what's the bit? Anything big going on for week 2, or anybody you want to give their flowers to week 1? An owner that did a great job, maybe
the Tide. Look at the Tide. Give a big shot. Everyone ripped the Tide off, all preseason. Didn't even want to talk about them. They scored the most points. So Lamar Shaw, hats off with the Tide. A big statement. The Bullies game with the Militia going in there and shutting them out. Big game. The unit coming back. Down 2 touchdowns were very slow start, and then 3 unanswered touchdowns. Huge. Just all of them did a great job. The Raptors coming in the league, their first game ever, and putting one on there, and the Eagles handing the Knights a shutout too. It was a great turnout. We have some things we got to talk about and fix, but it's week 1. It's success is we got it off, and that's the best thing. Next week, I won't lie, real quick, I'm excited because Wolfpack players were at the Owls game, and they was excited to be playing the Bullies. So. The Bullies taking a loss week 1, and the Wolfpack haven't played yet, and the Wolfpack is stacked. That Bullies-Wolfpack game next week someone's going to want to pull up to that game.
Awesome. So we do have somebody in the comments that's complaining about the officials, as we all do. Yes, officials are the thing about officials, if you notice them, then there's a problem. The best officials are the one that you don't notice at all. But I will say that human error, let me say this, not just for the the Panthers, let me just say this for everybody. Human error is part of the game, and the official
Yeah,
did not cost you the
it's
game.
true.
Your
It's true.
play, just don't make it close. And again, as an Eagles fan who was in New Orleans watching us play the Chiefs, if you don't make it close, you don't get the referees an
So
opportunity to.
I was about to say that. I was always taught, and I've never mentioned referees as a player. I never. This is the God's honest truth. Even if I knew, I never would mention that the referees cost us a game. I always said we let them stay in the fucking game. Oops, sorry. We let them stay. The player was coming out. We let them stay in the game. We let them stay in the game to give them an opportunity for a bad call.
Indeed,
That's how I always looked at it as a player.
indeed,
You know,
indeed. So he said,
put 50 up, you can't complain.
indeed. I also say, by the way, when my guys like they're holding me, I say, well, yeah, then we should be holding them right back, because if you know the referees are not calling holding, why are we not doing the same thing? So wherever it is, now again, I'm not going to sit here and say the refs are good or the refs are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. However, if you are seeing, this is part of good coaching, if you're seeing a pattern with a particular set of referees, then again, tell your guys to hold. Tell your guys to do whatever it is that they're not calling. If you sit there and complain about a particular brand of call, then you definitely lost that game. Yeah, there you go. So if you're sitting there acknowledging the patterns in which the referees are calling it or not calling it, then just plan accordingly. But the issue that I have in general with refereeing in semi-pro in general is you get such a mixed bag, and you don't get officials that have worked together as a unit. So you sometimes get those the dissension among the ranks, like, yeah, that was wild that he just did that, or a referee that won't overturn a call even though he knows that it was a bad call, because he doesn't want to overrule this guy who he doesn't really know, and doesn't want the guy to get mad at him or whatever. So, but I am past time. Your final thoughts on NEAFL and a promo?
It was I'm very proud of everybody. It was a great week. Way to come back this year, 11 teams strong, and you can't pick a winner yet. Everyone, them guys that took a loss, take it early, and you're gonna fix your team and come stronger towards the end of the year. Can't pick a champion right now, and that's what I always like it. I can't pick a champion. There's no one at the head of the line yet, and it's all the way across the board. I'm excited to see who's actually going to win it at the end. But yeah, I'm just super stoked and happy. It was a great week.
Awesome. All right, sir. Safe travels.
I just turned my phone on and you were summoning me on there. I was like, oh, look at this. I appreciate it, Dave. Great job. You're doing a great job for Semi-Pro, man.
Appreciate you. All right. So that's John Saplinski. So again, I do see the referee talk, and definitely continue. I do have to get going, but again, with the referees, again, it's going to be what it's going to be. But having a videographer like a TYJ on the sidelines, you can give the referees feedback that's a lot more tangible if they don't know the rules, right? If they don't know the rules. And by the way, since the only time they do NFL rules, by the way, is when they're doing semi-pro games. That's why in the IFA we said let's just do college rules, because they do college rules more often than not. So you're asking them to switch rules, and oftentimes some of the league specific rules, again, they're not NEAFL specific refs. So a lot of them are like NEAFL rules, whatever. What do you want me to do? Okay, pro rules. Okay, I'm gonna do pro rules. Again, Dexter Gerben spoke about this at length about the rules and how transferable they are, what have you. So bottom line is, have a videographer like TYJ on the sideline, get good angles, give the referees as much feedback as possible. And by the way, for the retired players, become referees. So that way we have younger and more capable officials that can carry us into the future. And by the way, it's freaking tax-free money. It is what it is. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday. See you on Thursday.